Well, hello everyone, Texie88 here and welcome to another review. And now I'm taking a look at TopoSoft's 1987 release, Stardust, for the ZX Spectrum 48K. It seems to be a vertically scrolling shoot 'em up, and TopoSoft, Spanish, and that music's a bit loud, but it is a 48K Spectrum, so there was a limit, and on the 48K Spectrum you couldn't actually just turn down the volume on the screen because the speaker is in the keyboard itself. So I think I'm just going to go on to the next screen before I get... So I can't just select... So I can't actually just select options normally by pressing up and down arrows or something like that. I have to actually control this incredibly wobbly ship with the regular controls. So down, up, right, left, fire, hold, abort, and God, why is that ship is so wobbly? So what we have here is a bit like Iridium, only for vertically scrolling instead of horizontally scrolling. And you've got a crosshair, which when you're above black you can't see at all. And it seems like in order to bomb anything that's actually on the ground, you have to actually make sure that that crosshair in front of your ship is aligned properly. And if you actually you fire in the direction you're heading in, but automatically you would default to heading straight upwards the moment you release any of the actual controls on your joystick or keyboard. Okay, so it's got some of the problems of it being a bit hard to tell what you can fly over and what you can't. And how come that's there this time? That wasn't there on that at the end of that last game. So when you can actually hit something on the ground, the crosshair changes from a round border to a square one. I'll see. I don't know what hit me there, and this, strangely enough, this doesn't have quite the same problem of some other vertically scrolling shoot 'em ups on the Spectrum that are in monochrome that cause it to be almost impossible to see what's going on because of everything blending in. It's not that bad. I mean, at least I can actually see the bullets. I mean, in fact, the bullets in this are more like what those in that game Tomcat should have been like, because I can actually see them, because they actually have a border around them. And you can go diagonally as well. The thing is, for a game released in 1987, it's not exactly original. And the chances are you would have already played Iridium by this point, and that absolutely wheezes all over this. Plus, that one being horizontally scrolling means you've got more of the width of the screen, whereas because this is vertically scrolling, you don't have as much time to react to things because it's the screen is not as tall as it is wide. Oh, so it's very easy to. It's still quite hard to tell what you can fly over and what you can't. And things that look like they're too low on the ground to hit you actually aren't. And the fact that your ship actually fires only in the direction you're heading means that you can't actually fire. You can't actually. It makes it a lot harder because you're not just facing upwards the whole time like you would be in a lot of other shoot 'em ups. And the trouble is that actually makes the game more difficult, because if you're in a really tight spot, you probably, like it is, you're not going to have time to turn around, especially as your ship turns around gradually, which may be more realistic, but arcade style shoot 'em ups like this aren't really the place for that kind of realism. Oh, goodness gracious. One more go. Yeah, this isn't great. It's not as bad as Syntax, and oh, goodness me. But that's still not saying much, because this still isn't particularly original, and about the only original thing I can find about it is the fact that you actually face in different directions, whereas you're not facing upwards the whole time like you would be in most other shoot 'em ups of this ilk. Oh, for goodness sake. And it really does take a lot of getting used to the fact that you turn around gradually when you release the directions. See, watch the ship. I just released down and it turned gradually around. That, as I said, that actually causes more problems. It may be more realistic, but that kind of realism just doesn't work in a game like this. Well, what hit me there? Never mind. So that's Stardust for the ZX Spectrum. Pretty bad shoot 'em up, really. Apart from being able to face different directions, there's not really anything to separate it from other shoot 'em ups that had been around even at that time. I mean, it doesn't have anything like the same problem of not being able to see what's going on due to the monochrome and things blending in with one another, but it still has a lot of problems about it not being clear what you can fly over and what you can't. It's not always as clear as it really needs to be. So sorry, TopoSoft, but this is not a great game. Graphically it looks okay, and scrolling's smooth enough. The animation's fine, and the sound isn't too bad for the 48K Spectrum, and nor is the music. But unfortunately, the gameplay is just nothing special, and the likelihood is you will either have or have already played something far better from around the same time or even earlier. I mean, it's a classic case of why have cotton when you could have silk. Something like Iridium that I believe came out the year before this, and that was so much better. So no, Stardust is pretty bad, and I can't really recommend it when there's just not enough to it, and it does have some irritations. 3 out of 10 for Stardust. Hope you enjoyed that review. Catch you on another one soon. Texie88 out.